Okay, so in the past we've talked about functions before. So let's do a little review about functions. And I'm going to do this with some mappings, okay? So say you have a function, say you have inputs of 1 and 2, and then you have outputs of 3 and 4. So we said, okay, well, if 1 maps to 3, that's fine. Then you'd have the point 1, 3. And then, if you had 2 mapping to 4, that was fine. But then we said, well, you can't have 1 going to 4. You can't have the 1 going to 2 different places. Okay, so this is now not a function. We had a function there for a minute. But then when I added that third point, now it's not a function. Because you can't have any of the domain elements. You can't have any of the inputs going to 2 different outputs. Okay? So you can't have the 1 here going to 3 and then the 1 going to 4. And we talked about the vertical line test with that. Okay? We're going to talk about that later too. We'll review that. Okay, so this is not a function. But if I had something like, A and B and C and D, I'm just trying to do simple examples here, and I had A go to C, and I had B go to D, that would be fine. That's a function, right? Okay, so this is a function. And I can write it as ordered pairs. So yes, this is a function. Okay, and I'm going to do another example. Let's say I have A and B, but over here I just have C. So I say I have A going to C and B going to C. Okay? Then I would have the ordered pairs A, C, and B, C. That is still a function. That's okay. Okay? So if we're saying, hey, is this a function or not a function? The first one was not a function because you had the 1 going 2 different places. But the second one was a function. We didn't repeat the A or B going to 2 different places, so it was an A here and a B here, so that's okay. And then here, the C repeated, but that's okay in the world of functions. Okay, so now we're going to bring something else in. It's called a one-to-one function. So I have that typed up above. And then I'll show you the abbreviation math teachers use. We just go 1-to-1 like that. So when we want to talk about a function being 1-to-1, first of all, it has to be a function. Okay? So it's got to be a function. And then to see if it's 1-to-1, you have to have the C's not repeating. Okay? So like this example here, this is a 1-to-1 function. This is 1-to-1, but this is not 1-to-1, okay? Because they're both going to C, all right? So you're checking the outputs now. So you got to make sure that every output's only receiving 1 input, and every input is only going to 1 output. I think I said the same thing twice. Okay, so every output is only receiving. Yeah, no, that's right. Every output is only receiving 1 input. Okay? All right, so maybe that makes some sense. You can review this. There's examples in the book too. Okay, and we're going to show you some examples in the next few videos as well. Okay, so now we have things that are functions, and sometimes they're 1-to-1 functions, sometimes they're not 1-to-1 functions. Now you might say, well, what about that first example? Is that 1-to-1? No, because it's not a function. So you can't have it be a 1-to-1 not a function. Okay, so first of all, you check to see if it's a function, and then you check to see if it's 1-to-1. Okay.